Are you trying to quote Elf?
No.
Oh, well, there was a thing, singing loud for all the year.
So you can't do it either.
No, I didn't. But I didn't.
Singing loud for all to hear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
I know it.
I'm pushing the damn button.
Push the damn red button.
Greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G Long, and sitting across the way, as always, is Deb.
Hi.
Hi, Deb.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right.
Making
a little,
yeah, we're both
still a little
phlegmy. Yeah, it's been a good month.
Yeah, it has.
Phlegm.
Hey, if you'd like to reach the Long in the Boot podcast, send us an email. It's longintheboot@gmail.com. Go ahead. Do it. Send us something to talk about. I am wide open.
As if we are short on things to talk about.
No, I got lots of stuff to talk about. But I would love to.
Oh yeah.
Have somebody say, "Hey, look at this picture."
I don't think they have time.
Probably so.
Yeah,
it is bad. And the phone number for the Long in the Boot Studios.
You got it.
I do. 337-502-9011. That's right.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good for you. I couldn't remember it if my life depended on it.
And so anyway, we had a Christmas show not too long ago.
We did about beards and
on Christmas
men
Day.
Who sport them on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Because we're empty nesters.
Yep.
And we do what we want.
And we were delighted to do that. That was fun.
Yes, it was.
And it gave us time to be sick. Afterwards, we got some extra time.
A little extra time. and yet it was still not quite enough.
No, it still hadn't quite.
It's been hanging on. I wonder if that's because we're old or if it's just the virulent nature of the RSV, COVID,
old.
flu,
I resemble
pneumonia.
That remark.
I don't know what the hell's going around.
I don't either. But, I think part of the problem is our particular vocation.
Oh, puts us in contact.
Well, yeah, we've got vectors everywhere around us, and so it's bound to happen.
So because of the rampant nature of all things going around, a lot of places have gone back to saying you need to wear a mask.
Yeah, back to masks.
I'm perplexed.
It won't happen here.
Well, no, I have people. I see people.
but the government won't.
Some students.
The government won't step in and say you have to.
Well, but in some states, government entities are saying that, and I thought we clearly had established that they weren't working, that they did not work.
Well, you got too many people that think they do.
But the science, after the science was proven bad, they proved what. Oh, I guess they didn't prove jack shit, did they?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I think a lot of people just go, well, they don't work,
Well, I guess it's kind of like making New Year's resolutions. I'm sure
they
for
work
the best.
I'm sure they work for a reduction. I can't believe that a reduction in people spewing their.
If you put on a clean mask every day, you have to have a new clean mask,
and then not touch your face,
and wash your hands. You still have to do all those other things.
And when you sneeze, I don't know what you do when you sneeze when you have a mask on. Do you sneeze into the mask?
I haven't worn a mask.
Whip out
since
a spare.
The bad times, but even now, I mean, I put my nose and my face into the crook of my elbow.
I'll even sneeze inside my shirt. I'll just pull the collar away and sneeze down in there.
Well, then technically, aren't you trying to mask in that way?
I suppose.
Yeah, so I guess
trying to use my chest hairs as a filter.
So what we're trying to say is it's dangerous out there, people. There are things you can't even see. They're coming to get you.
That's right.
All right, so be afraid.
Always.
Be very afraid.
Always.
No, I don't want to spout
and,
that.
of course, we just had New Year's.
We did.
And hopefully everybody had a good time. I know that we stayed up right up until
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, but time is relative, so it doesn't really.
You know what? It felt like midnight to me.
We were sick.
That's true.
When I'm sick, I can go to bed anytime I damn well please.
Yes.
Unless I have to go to work.
That's right.
And
then we have a time.
And then we have time.
And that's sort of what we're talking about.
We are. Time is kind of part of our topic.
Because of New Year's
and wherever
Eve.
It might meander.
Yeah.
Because time is funny.
So
it's like the weather. It don't give a front.
Since I'm sure everybody made their New Year's resolutions again.
Well, I didn't.
I don't.
I've learned better.
That is my resolution, not to make them.
Not to worry about
and
that.
I succeed every year.
Well, because if I want to make changes in myself or in my life, I recognize.
I don't need a special day.
I don't need a day. Yeah. It's like, start your diet on a Monday. Dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, come on. If you want to change, just change.
Just do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
So
anyway,
get to the
we're going to talk about New Year's Day, but of course you can't really have New Year's unless you have a calendar.
Well, yes.
And you can't really have a calendar unless you're trying to do something about time. And so time is where we're going to start with just a couple of things about time.
You keep saying it. We'll talk about it.
Well, okay. Well, what is it?
Pitter-patter.
What's the definition of time? Turns out there isn't one.
Oh, like everything else.
There's many, many different definitions of what time is, dependent upon the field that's looking at it.
And the time period that you're looking at it.
Well,
I mean, we're not necessarily just talking about a calendar.
No, but we're talking about like now, like what is time? And time has been laid out. There is a definition, and it's the definition that is applicable at least
current
as far as we can do it simply, which is time is simply the sequence of events that occurs in an irreversible succession from the past through the present into the future.
Irreversible.
It is a component quantity of various measurements used to sequence events, to compare the duration of events or the intervals between them, and to quantify the rate of change of quantities in material reality or the conscious experience. Okay. Time is known as the fourth dimension.
And we need it as a reference to be able to talk about our lives, to plan things, to talk about the past.
Yes.
I mean,
so time, according to most physicists and people who study it, time existed prior to us
a label
trying to
measure.
Categorize
yes,
it.
Obviously.
But normally we think of time as a sort of a timeline. We think of a timeline.
Well, yeah, chronologically.
Right. And that's how early man thought about it.
Yes.
They realized that something was happening.
The sun went down, the sun came up, and that happened within a set period.
And everybody ages and you see it. So eventually, as people began to settle, they had to start structuring their time.
Well, and you say they see it, like we age and they see it, but before cameras, did they really? Like, you don't notice it. I don't notice the changes so much. You look in the mirror, but you really don't spend a whole lot of time doing that. But then you see a picture of yourself 10 years ago. Facebook loves to do that, right? 15 years ago. Looks like, oh, shit.
Well, I think calendars probably are a result of the need to plan. Ancient man, and I'm talking before cities, before civilization, they lived simply to eat.
Yes, and so everything was centered on
there was no
planting,
time,
harvesting.
Even before that, I'm talking even before that.
Oh, okay.
Like hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers, the only time for them was we need to be in this place at this time.
Once they realized that there was a process.
You see what I mean? Like time was happening to them without them realizing, but they must have eventually figured out that, hey, when we show up in this area at this point,
it's cold or it's
cold
warm.
And there's less food.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
And we have to move inside
So then it becomes where you have to plan.
Okay.
Before, the only planning they had to have was geographical planning.
Location.
Early on.
Yeah.
They just followed herds originally.
Okay.
You just follow them.
So then time didn't really become totally important until you began planting, until you settled in one location and you stopped being a wanderer. Well, you stopped following the food and you said, hey, as we
went to an agricultural society, time had to be corralled.
Dealt with.
We had to domesticate time.
Yes, there you go. We domesticated time.
And so we developed calendars and these calendars go back to the Neolithic period. So we're talking, way back. Now, what were Neolithic calendars? Well, Neolithic calendars took on a lot of different shapes and sizes. The first historically attested and formalized calendars, though, that we know about are the Bronze Age. And there we have actual things created that could tell time in the West.
You mean like a sundial or
something like that. In 2000 in 2000 AD in Australia, they found a stone arrangement that is 11,000 years old. In 2000. I don't know why I said AD.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Didn't mean to mess people up.
You're messing with my time, man.
Anyway, it's a calendar. It's 11,000 years old.
Is it like Stonehenge? It's
just the stone arrangement.
Okay.
Fits
because really
the way the sky would have, because there's actually a slight difference in what they would have seen then versus now as far as like the moon and its position and things like that. Not a lot, but it is off.
Okay.
We have a 10,000-year-old system in Scotland, and it's the same thing, stones arranged in this particular way.
Okay.
And then later we have Sumerian calendars, Egyptian calendars, Assyrian calendars. So at that point, we're getting into villages and cities.
Yes.
So now we have to arrange things.
Really have to, yes.
Because you have to meet people, like to do business. I mean, it's weird to think of people needing to do business,
And you need to meet me when the calendar or when the clock says or whatever.
When the harvest comes in,
yes, at this point we'll meet again.
You needed to have some type of calendar. And the amazing thing is almost all of the calendars were based on the lunar new year or the lunar year. Okay. So they were all off. You can't make a lunar calendar work. But there were some groups like the Hindu calendar that had 365 solar days. So they had it.
Even then?
Yes.
Okay.
By the time we get to the Roman period, the calendar starts getting really refined.
Yes, they really start to understand things.
But they still had a lunar calendar for quite a while. Then later, when they went ahead and actually based it on the year, 365 days, Julius Caesar.
Yeah, and then he figured out what to do with February.
Well, they got rid of they had a 10-month calendar, so it was off by 4 or 5 days every year. Mm-hmm. And the Julian calendar didn't work on the moon. It simply followed an algorithm. And this is my favorite thing. Introducing a leap day every 4 years.
Yeah.
There. Simple.
We'll make it work.
We can readjust it.
Isn't that how man is, though?
Yeah.
We'll make it work. Why does it matter? It doesn't. We can do what we want.
It is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So with calendars, of course, we have then gradually we work our way through history. There is some weird stuff. Like we work our way into history, and then eventually we start celebrating events based on
our
calendars. And so we have events that celebrate the harvest.
Yeah, once it becomes standard.
Right. And we have a feast or a holiday / whatever celebrating the planting season.
Yes.
And so gradually we end up with working our way into the what we have now, which is a new year. And the year changed dependent upon the group.
Think of the comfort to a standard calendar, too.
Well, yeah.
For people, that is very comforting because we know.
It helps to know. Life is so random
so
anyway.
Unpredictable. That
it's nice to have something you can depend on.
That it's a constant. Thank you, Julius Caesar. Thank you, Gregorians. Or Thank you for sitting down and taking the time to figure all that out.
Yeah, exactly.
And giving us some peace and some way to say, you know what's happening tomorrow? A whole new year is beginning.
There you go.
And then what do we as humans do? We start making plans.
Got to make plans, man.
We throw out the old and we start planning for the new. And it's all going to be great because it's a new year.
Yay.
Aren't we silly?
It's going to be so different.
No, because I still got up and I still went to work. Didn't seem like anything changed. Gas prices were still the same. It's me. So it's the human that's different.
And then, of course, once we got to church, time had to become even more.
Wait, which church?
The church. Before other churches.
We've established that the
Catholic Church was the church.
The Christian church. Okay.
And so you get the calendar.
You told me that the Hindus had
Yeah, but
they were already.
They were, but the West was not. The West was jacked up. But the church kind of put everything into line as far as, because you had feast days. Because the saints,
they understood the importance of people having
little breaks, little vacations.
Yes.
And
we already talked about vacations, right, and where that all came from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need a break, man.
So we'll take a holy day, a holiday.
And they had a bunch. The Catholic
they did.
calendar in the Middle Ages.
To start to calm your peasants down and keep them working. You got to give them some fun.
Yeah.
And a little rest time. And
so eventually we have, a calendar where January 1st, that's what the Romans did. Janus was the representative for the first month of the year. Looking forward, looking back.
I don't like to look back. I don't worry about that.
But Janus is a two-headed god. He can't help it.
Yeah. Well, I don't have two heads.
Because even the one looking forward, if he turns around and looks back, the other one's looking forward.
It just keeps happening. Yeah. Well, then you're just turning in a circle. And you're like a hamster in a wheel, and you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, dear God.
Well, aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Buddhist temples on New Year's Eve, they ring their bell 108 times to represent cleansing the 108 human desires that cause us suffering. 108.
8?
Now, I don't know how long it takes them to ring their bell 108 times. So they're indicating that when the new year begins, you should release all of those desires to release your suffering, because that's the Buddhist way, right? That what leads to our suffering is desire. Somebody I love has died, and my desire is that I would like them here again. You're never going to get that.
Right.
That won't happen. You have to let that go. So don't suffer about it.
But that seems cold to the Western mind sometimes.
Well, but I think if you read about other cultures and how they handle death and grief, and I think there's a lot of wisdom there.
Well, I do too.
I mean, we know there are stages of grief and all that. Okay, so anyway, we won't go into grief, but that's what the Buddhists do on New Year's Eve to symbolically release all of that suffering.
Get that whole new year started right by getting rid of your baggage.
Yes, well, I
wonder, I bet a lot of people go through their closets for New Year's.
During that time? Within
that week.
During that break, I would normally do that. I did not do a lot of that because the purging, I just didn't feel well. I was not well enough to purge, and I must be sick if I'm not throwing stuff out.
Yeah, good point.
Because what do I normally do?
And so who else you got there?
For are we talking
New Year's
traditions?
New Year's traditions.
Well, I think my favorite, they go really far back, but I think my favorite idea is just simply that most cultures for New Year's Eve, they make a lot of noise. They almost all involve noisiness.
Making noise
to scare demons away.
Oh, you got to.
You got to make some noise. So making a lot of noise, lighting fireworks, gunshots, church bells. Who is it that throws dishes at doors, breaks plates and glasses? It's the Dutch. I think it was the Dutch I read that do that, and they just go by people's houses.
Well, now they
throw China at their door.
Starting at Christmas now, it's fireworks. In the Netherlands, they do fireworks for like 2 weeks straight.
Yes. A lot of cultures do celebrate the whole time. They extend it out, right?
And so you don't want to. I wouldn't want to be there for that.
No. Well, even in the colonial America, even in the colonies, they were firing guns New Year's Eve. They're and we think it's weird that some cultures fire guns at weddings. And sometimes people die.
Well, I think the problem is most of the time when I see people firing guns at weddings, they've got like AK-47s. And they're just going ta-ta-ta-ta-ta straight up in the air.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah, well, it's a celebration.
Ammo's expensive.
So we like to make a lot of noise, and it's a celebration thing. In Thailand, they fire guns to frighten off demons. China, of course, fireworks, the home of fireworks, right? Again, but that's the same idea, is to get out the forces of darkness. There it is. It's Denmark. They throw plates and glasses against each other's front doors to banish bad spirits. Damn. Can you imagine our dogs?
Well,
our dogs would lose their mind.
They would. I've got what ancient Babylon did for the New Year's. You ready?
Well, just don't stare at me like I know. I don't know.
Okay, 4,000 years ago, the Babylonians celebrated, well, the new year.
Okay.
And they did it on the first new moon following the vernal equinox.
Okay.
So it was in March.
Okay.
Equal amounts of sunlight and darkness, theoretically.
Oh, so they found the balance point.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this started the new year and represented the rebirth of the natural world. And they marked this occasion with a massive religious festival called Akitu, which actually just means barley.
Oh, was that the grain they were harvesting?
Yeah, that would have been their big grain.
Or they're not harvesting in March.
11 days, a different ritual each day. During Akitu, statues of the gods were paraded through the city streets and rituals were enacted to symbolize their victory over the forces of chaos.
Oh, okay.
Through these rituals, the Babylonians believed the world was symbolically cleansed and recreated by the gods in preparation for the new year and the return of spring. In addition to the new year, it also celebrated the mythical victory of the Babylonian sky god Marduk over the evil sea goddess Tiamat, and it served an important political purpose. This was when the new king was crowned, or the current ruler's divine mandate was renewed. Now, this is the best part of it. One fascinating aspect involved the kind of ritual humiliation that the Babylonian king had to endure. This particular tradition saw the king brought before the statue of the god Marduk, stripped of all of his royal regalia,
so
slapped,
he's naked,
slapped,
okay,
and then dragged by the ears with the hope of making him cry.
Oh.
If royal tears were shed, it was seen as a sign that Marduk was satisfied and had symbolically extended the king's rule.
Well, wouldn't the king just cry anyway, just to make everybody happy? See, now I'm suspicious.
Fake tears.
Fake tears.
Fake tears.
You're crying crocodile tears, King.
Fake tears.
Are you trying to do your Trump?
Yeah, I can't do Trump.
Oh, no. That one's a hard one to get. I wonder what he does on New Year's Eve.
Right. Who knows? I can't even imagine.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to ask that.
I don't want to think about it. I just don't want to think about any of it. It's just, it's all weird.
Because it's coming, and we know according to the calendar that time is nigh.
Well, Paul, totally getting off subject for a moment.
What?
Paul Harvey is a guy who used to be on the radio, and he had a thing called the Farmer. And it was a little poem about God sending Jesus to the world. Yeah. And it was a simple farmer. Okay. Yeah. Well, I saw a video on the news the other day, or on the internet. It's floating around the net.
Oh, no.
And it's the same poem, but in this one, instead of Jesus being sent to earth, it's Trump. And instead of solving all of these religious problems that Jesus was sent to do in the poem, or in the story that Harvey wrote, it's Trump. He was sent to, clean the swamp, and it's just a whole long thing where
cleanse everything.
But it's the line, and God sent Trump, and it's like, no.
So then, if he was crucified, would it purge us all of our sins? We'd have to do it on New Year's Eve. In preparation for the coming year. Okay, I think we have gone.
Okay, we have gone off.
Stop. We better stop. Somebody's going to be upset and think we really mean that. I didn't put the analogy out there though. Somebody on the net put the analogy out there.
He posted. He did that on his own Truth Social site. Oh. He posted the whole thing.
So he's arrogant enough to.
I don't know if he is. He didn't create it. He just, and that's
maybe he asked
I didn't create it. I just I had a friend who did it.
He asked ChatGPT to do it. You know he did.
And
oh my gosh!
But the original Paul Harvey version is so nice and beautiful, and it's wonderful. And then to hear it totally just trashed.
Yeah, I used to. Daddy and I, every time we were on the road and we'd listen to Paul, we always enjoyed that. Yes, he always told great stories.
Old time radio guy.
Exactly, and it was like sitting around the radio and listening to a story.
Oh yeah, he had a really beautiful voice,
and they always had a good ending. There was always something to learn. Okay, so some of the ideas then. So the loud noises to frighten off demons and darkness,
got rituals
and chaos,
to get rid of chaos,
and then you've got the good luck stuff. Oh wait, I'm not done. Ecuador, they would burn effigies of famous people to destroy the bad juju from the past year and to start fresh and new.
Okay.
Burn effigies of famous people. Now, I don't know how the famous people felt about that.
That makes sense.
Did they find that was a good thing, or so like out with the old, in with the new?
I don't know.
Would we burn an effigy of Biden, and then maybe we could do Biden and Trump, and then next year get somebody fresh, have like fresh candidates, not past their expiration date. Because I feel like our candidates are past their expiration.
I think our candidates have gone on.
And of course, I told you already, the colonies, we were shooting, shots firing into the air. And now, of course, we do the ball drop at Times Square. So more destruction. Well, actually, the ball doesn't hit the ground anymore.
Well, true.
Yeah, they don't destroy it anymore.
Those are all secular, or kind of secular. The medieval times. How about this?
The restaurant?
The church. January 1st had been the new year since Rome.
All right.
And in 567, the Council of Tours, the church, said, nuh-uh. Oh, no, that's not the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year is March 25th or December 25th. It's either Jesus's birthday or it's the Feast of Annunciation Day, also known as Lady Day.
Lady Day.
It is. It's Lady Day.
It's Lady Boy Day.
All right. So in medieval times, March 25th generally became the beginning of the new year. The Feast of Annunciation is the day to celebrate the event when Archangel Gabriel appeared to Mary and said, "Hey, have I got a deal for you? You get to be mother of Jesus, the Son of God." I love the article says, Mary checked some of the conditions and learned that her virginity would remain intact.
So the terms of agreement were agreeable to her.
So she accepted the holy mission.
Well, wait. So why didn't that take? Why today do we not, as Christians, as a Christian country?
You know what, though? It's one of those deals, okay? Because it's like, well, wait a minute. You mean I'll still be a virgin? Yes, you'll still be a virgin. And then they didn't sit until you have the second kid.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
like she can't.
Why does that matter? What is? Oh, I get it. So she is not having anyone touch her, right?
It doesn't know the touch of man,
right?
The stain of man,
the stink.
Oh. Speaking of that, okay.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm not done. We're talking about Mary's virginity.
Finish the virginity birth.
It says she instantly became pregnant with the Holy Child. A decision that would lead to her becoming the most famous woman on earth. And so in the 5th century, they created the Feast of Annunciation, and it's a celebration. And the church says, actually, it's a celebration of the fact that God entered the human world in order to save us. It's also a celebration of Mary's free acceptance of the role of mother to the Holy Child, signifying humanity's acceptance of God's act. So that's why if it's not March 25th, it has to be December 25th, 9 months. That's how we get.
When you're telling the story, I'm thinking to myself, so she instantly became pregnant, but did she instantly deliver? No.
So for all you people out there who want to know why December 25th is Jesus's birthday, it's because the Feast of Annunciation Day is 9 months before that.
Yes, I
got it?
Well, so they had to do the math.
Oh, wait.
The time was very important in that.
Let me put a little asterisk on that. The date of January 1st is also given Christian significance and became known as the Feast of the Circumcision, considered to be the 8th day of Christ's life, counting from December 25th and following the Jewish tradition of circumcision 8 days after birth.
Cut the foreskin at that point. Yeah. He had lots of foreskins, though.
Well,
because his foreskins were in churches across.
Well, now there weren't that many.
All right, but more than 2.
I think the more important thing here is that somebody said we need to save that. I've always been. There's a great documentary, by the way. Yeah, there is
a documentary about that.
About how people fought over this thing, to have it as a relic in our church. It's wonderful.
We're going to take a little side note. Documentary on Willie Nelson on Prime or Peacock?
I think it was Paramount.
It was on Paramount.
And it's outstanding.
It was excellent, yes. If you are a fan, or if you were never a fan, watch it. You may become even more of a fan, or at least become a new fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
because Willie Nelson.
There you go.
Paramount.
Anyway, January 1st was not the New Year until 1582 in Europe. Then,
okay. 1582 is the official date. The calendar.
Pope Gregory said, hey, it's going to be January 1st.
Well, I'm glad he made the command decision and just said it because we need that. We can't be confused.
Protestant countries, of course, took years to adopt it because it's the Catholic Church. And by then, we had just had the Reformation. So Protestant churches were not real happy with
They weren't going along.
So they were going to be
all
like, what does that mean? So what? Who's the Pope to me?
We're not doing what you say.
We're not part of your church.
Okay. So part of the symbolic
including
nature.
the American colonies, by the way. We didn't adopt
we weren't doing that.
January 1st until 1752.
Okay. Well, and then what? 17? Oh no, that was 1690.
So that means in 1751, on December 31st, no one was drunk.
No one was. That's probably not true at all. But they weren't firing.
But they weren't
guns
celebrating anything. They were probably saying, "Crap, it's cold up here."
It's cold out here.
Why'd we settle in the north?
we have first the tradition then of loud noises to scare away the demons,
sure,
and the chaos that we all hate as humans. Then there's the idea of what we need to do for the future for good luck, because that was banishing the past, negative past.
We need to wipe out
now
that
we
stuff.
need to move forward into the future because that's all I can ever look for.
And that's how time runs.
Yes, it's coming. We know, without a doubt, it will come.
We can't do
unless
jack
I'm dead,
about what's already happened.
Yes, unless I'm dead. So in Spain, the first thing they did for luck was they would eat 12 grapes, one grape for each stroke of the clock at midnight. And the tradition for that says that if they succeed in eating one grape for each stroke, they will have good luck for all 12 months coming in the year.
So that's 12 grapes in 12 seconds?
Well, every time the clocks, you got choo, choo, choo.
Bong.
Yeah. Well, you get tiny grapes. You know how recently in the last, we've been getting like these monster grapes that were like the size of a plum.
I would imagine most people could swallow a grape without actually even chewing it, but...
Oh, did they know the Heimlich back then? How many people choked trying to rush? I'm drunk. I'm trying to eat a grape.
Shoot at each other by Heimliching the guy that's choking. Fire a grape. Pew!
Okay, and now I've got some weird stripper thing in my head about the grape. Okay, never mind.
Ew.
Okay. In the southern U.S., of course, we've
Keep it clean, lady.
You know me. If they've been listening, they know me. In the southern U.S., we've got black-eyed peas and pork foretell good fortune, except for the pig.
You forgot the cabbage.
I didn't forget it. There was no cabbage
you
here
missed
in this
cabbage.
house.
I don't miss cabbage.
There's no cabbage in this house.
I would eat cabbage.
You would eat cabbage. I'll eat it raw. I like raw cabbage. If you mix that in with something.
Well, there you go.
And I'll eat it in an egg roll if
I had cabbage salad in there.
Yes.
On New Year's Day.
Okay. Well, I went to Tony's Pizza and I got a garden salad.
No, I'm talking about New Year's Day.
Oh, okay. Well, I ate my black-eyed peas. I ate my pork.
No, you had a salad last night.
I did have a salad.
I, of course, had a nice, healthy plate of chicken wings.
All right. Scotland. In Scotland, say it for me. Hogmanay? Hogmanay? Hogmanay?
I don't know. I can't see the word, so it doesn't help.
Well, I thought you already just knew it because you're so damn smart.
Well, that's true, but...
Okay. In Scotland, the Scots would have a bonfire, of course, and ceremonies where people would parade while swinging giant fireballs on poles, because we know how the Scots love giant poles. They like to throw poles. They like the Scots like poles.
You're going to make all these cabers, so you got to have something to do with them.
Yeah, so you're going to.
Where are we going to put this giant ball of fire?
We're going to put it on the top.
Put it on the end of my caber.
All right, so that's what the Scots would do, and these are for luck for the future, right? We're thinking to the future. Eating any this is not nice. Eating any ring-shaped treat, such as a donut, symbolizes coming full circle and leads to good fortune. In Dutch homes, fritters called oliebollen. Like a stolen bollen. Okay, are served. All right, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, so circular things. Oh, and now we have the king cake.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, at time, a ring does indicate it's a symbol of time.
Yes, and a symbol of connection, coming full circle. Why do we wear a ring, a wedding band?
Yeah.
Yeah, for symbolic reasons. Irish enjoyed pastries called bannocks.
That's not all they enjoy.
They didn't like those fireballs on a pole, though, from those Scots. In India and Pakistan, rice is their sign of prosperity. Shocking, isn't it?
Rice. Check out this rice.
The Jewish tradition, right? Rosh Hashanah, apples dipped in honey. And this one is a little odd. In the Swiss homes, they would have a dollop of whipped cream and they would throw it on the floor or drop it on the floor. And the whipped cream symbolizes the richness of the year coming. And they would leave it and let it just stay on the floor.
Huh.
Now, my dog would just eat that up. So I have to wonder, in Swiss homes, are the dogs coming and taking their richness of the new year because you've got this foamy white on the floor?
Yeah, that's always a surprise.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have to drink on New Year's Eve. Having a drink is also part of the, good health, toasting to good health, the arrival of the new year.
Well, yeah, you hope everybody does better and everybody has a good year.
And the idea is that you forget about the negative from the past.
And you say to yourself, well, it can't get any worse than this.
So purge your home. That's what we said in 2020. And then what happened? Also giving gifts, but usually the gifts are like, nuts, eggs to symbolize fertility. And then we're going to do that again in Easter time, right? We love the eggs.
Yeah.
Can't help that. Early Egyptians would trade earthenware flasks.
Nice.
Yeah. Scotland, they'd trade coal, shortbread, silverware were traditionally exchanged between people for good luck.
Well, yeah, you got to.
So I don't know what that's, but Hogmanay, that is it. In Scotland on December 31st, it's known as Hogmanay. So along with fireworks.
Maybe that's where Pratchett got the idea for the Hogfather.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, actually. That when I saw the word, that's the first thing I thought about.
Well, as far as like religious groups, when they do celebrate New Year's, the one I saw that was interesting was that in the 1740s, this is before they went to the calendar, but when people were shifting to January 1st, it sort of just was an organic thing.
Nothing
it was happening.
In society does that.
Well, the Methodists didn't like the fact that people were having fun on January 1st. And so they actually created something that has become fairly popular called Covenant Renewal Service, also known as Watch Night.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Watch
and that's
Night.
People just get together and they read scripture and they sing and
on the 31st.
Yeah, and
that's to keep them from drinking.
Yes, it's supposed to be an alternative.
to the party atmosphere.
To the party atmosphere. But it says that Watch Night has become extremely popular with evangelical Protestant churches and African American denominations and congregations.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought that was interesting.
Well, I like that they come together as a community and support each other in that endeavor.
And people will also talk about their hopes for the new year, right?
Yeah,
and
you make your
resolutions. Don't tell people your resolutions. I'm going to if you're going to come up with resolutions, maybe you shouldn't tell people.
No, and you know what? Don't make it so broad. I mean, you can go online and Google, why psychologically we don't stick to our resolutions.
Well, actually, I put New Year's resolution. I just wrote New Year's resolutions on Google. I saved the Google page because when you type in New Year's resolutions,
what do you get?
Number one, the 5 most failed New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, they're broad,
Number 2,
aren't they?
10 commonly broken New Year's resolutions. Why New Year's resolutions fail and what to do about it. Why most New Year's resolutions fail. 19 surprising New Year's resolution statistics. Surprise.
They fail, yeah.
And it keeps going. I can go all the way to the bottom. Most people fail to achieve their New Year's resolution. Keep it scrolling. I'm just scrolling. The psychology behind why we New Year's resolutions fail.
Oh, you know what? I've got that up at the top of my page too. Why they never work. Goals should start at a time of change or need for a change. So many are set because it's tradition. So if you are setting a resolution for tradition's sake, your motivation will be lacking.
But I had to scroll literally to the very bottom of the page to get actually information
positive
about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
which I think is kind of funny.
Okay, can I finish the Scotland
yes.
Hogmanay thing?
Please.
So, although they like fireworks too when they finally got them, but it's called first footing or first foot, right? First foot in the house after midnight is very common across Scotland. So, the first person to cross the threshold into one's home is called the first footer, and that indicates the year to come. So, although the tradition varies, if the first footer is tall and dark, Jason Momoa, the year will be. You had mentioned him earlier. I would have said
Fast X.
I would have said Dwayne Johnson. If the first footer is tall and dark, the year will be a good one. Of course, the entire spirit of Hogmanay party is to welcome friends and strangers with warm hospitality and lots of kissing. Oh, the kissing part. So if you don't have somebody to kiss at midnight on New Year's Eve,
you're a loser.
You're going to be lonely in the year to come. Now, they don't really mention if you're kissing somebody just to have somebody to kiss, or if like the person that walks through your door. What if they're an ass? What if the guy that comes in is like, oh, she brought him. Oh, it's midnight. No, don't let him in. Don't let that guy cross the threshold.
Yeah, it's Hogmanay.
So has there ever been
Hogmanay?
Yes.
Hogmanay. There we go. There we go. Hogmanay.
Hogmanay.
No, it's Hogmanay.
Okay, but really it should be a time for introspection. The problem is I see, there's watch night. Okay.
Oh.
It began in 1770.
Leave it to the Scottish. There's like 5,000 different spellings for this word, depending on where in Scotland you are.
Oh, and you can't understand any Scotsman when he says it.
What's great is you got Hogmanay, and you're like, yeah, okay, I got that. Then Hogmanay, okay. Hogmanay.
What?
Hogmanay.
Okay, if a New Year's Eve...
Hoogeranati. That's in Shetland.
Where the ponies live?
Yes.
Thank you. If New Year's Eve night, the wind blows south, then it's going to be warm.
Oh,
and
we know which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah, because Hamlet told us.
Yes.
Yes. Well, then that means we're going to have a crazy year. For abundance in the new year, you need to fill your pockets and cupboards today. So make sure you have food in the cabinets. Kiss the person you hope to keep kissing the whole year. So that's what you need. Yeah. If the old year goes out like a lion, then the new year comes in like a lamb. And begin the new year square with every man. In other words, pay your debts. And that was from the Farmer's Almanac founder. Take care of whatever you left hanging. Wrap up everything to start fresh. Really, that's what it should be, right? You pay your debts. You return things. What was that, the Babylonians?
Yeah, give things you borrowed.
If you borrowed something, give it back. Return it so that they don't talk all year about you because you were a loser.
A loser.
There you go. That was the Babylonians. Return borrowed farm equipment is primary. So fresh starts.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
So last thing about Hogmanay.
Oh, the Scots.
Yeah. Well, turns out Hogmanay goes back to the Norse.
Oh.
So it goes all the way back. They have authors that have originally they thought it was the French that brought this word over. And it turns out it has Norse roots, and the full form comes from a writing. It's Hogmanay tralale, give us your white bread and none of your gray. That's what the writing says.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I kind of think is cool.
I do too.
And it says that in Iceland, hillmen are known as hogmen, and in Anglo-Saxon they're hogmen. And so basically they're a form of elf, and they banish trolls into the sea.
Huh.
And so I would read the rest in Middle English, but I'm not going to.
No, I don't think our audience even gives a hoot.
No, probably not. And it goes back also along with the Gaelic celebrations of Samhain, or for you other people, Samhain.
Samhain. Yes, thank you. Interesting. All right. In South Africa, since the 1990s in Johannesburg, revelers have been tossing old furniture out their windows.
Hey, there you go.
Recently, though, the police have cracked down on that.
They thought they were musicians.
It's become a problem. In Japan, they eat soba noodles, a tradition that dates back to the Edo period.
Well, that sounds like a good tradition.
That's good luck. And delicious. So, Japan, New Year.
Yeah.
Except they had an earthquake, so their New Year it was a cracking good time.
Oh, by the way, last thing for Hogmanay too.
Okay.
Old Lang Syne, the song that everybody sings.
Yes, I had a little thing about that.
That's them.
Yes.
That's their thing.
Because they began the Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot?
Yeah, it's Robert Burns.
Yes,
the original.
I did get that.
Hey, haste you back.
And in Germany, the tradition of Blagensen involves casting lead in cold water, and then they interpret the shapes that the metal forms as signs for the future. So I guess it's like reading tea leaves.
Yeah.
So you need some molten, well, you know what? Maybe just don't do that. Let's not do that. You're safer reading tea leaves.
That's true.
Yeah, stick to that if you need a tradition to read into the future.
Tea leaves.
Sister Cleo would have recommended that too.
Yeah, probably so.
Before she died. I don't think she saw that one coming, though.
No. So what do you think?
I think that we
coming year.
Carry on. The coming year. We're going to have a presidential election.
Sorry.
I am sorry. I think Facebook will be better this time around, though. I've noticed a trend on Facebook, and it really is that people don't want to deal with political posts and a lot of negative stuff. You may complain about something nearby or in town and people will get involved with that. But if you're going to complain about national stuff or post a news story, that's generally people aren't biting.
Right.
I mean, when Trump ran the first time and then was elected and then ran the second time, and it was social media was a dangerous, horrible place.
I don't think people are going to do that again.
I don't think they will either.
I don't think they'll engage. Actually,
they won't engage, and that's really what it is
anymore.
No, I just kind of like occasionally I'll see something. I'm like, God, that makes me so angry.
If we're going to have a political discussion, let's do it like adults
in person and
with a beer between us.
Yeah,
and just talk
and sit around and
you don't have to agree.
Well, because it's so difficult to show to truly make yourself understood about all aspects of a topic in writing.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, "Yeah, well, what about?"
You need facial context.
You need to be able to take a thread or a conversation where it's naturally going to go, so you can make them understand your position. You may not change any minds, and be aware of that. You're not changing minds. If people love Biden or if people are Democrats or Republicans, that we're probably not changing any minds.
That's true.
And I'm not going to not be an independent.
Yeah.
Or I'm a no party affiliate.
There you go.
I'm going to remain a no party affiliate.
I'm a no party affiliate.
Yes.
I remain unaffiliated.
I am unaffiliated. That's it. And so as far as that goes in the coming year, that will remain constant. I hope that all of our listeners, whatever they did for New Year's Eve and whatever their resolution or plans for the future, get to it.
Yep.
Pitter patter.
I'm going to give you a little poem
to go out on.
It's a Robert Burns. It's a song too, but and we'll just deal with it. And
thank you.
But anyway, this is for. I think it's a perfect thing to just wrap it up for the year. Right?
All right.
And haste ye back. We love you dearly. Call again. You're welcome here. May your days be free from sorrow and your friends be ever near. May the paths o'er which you wander be to you a joy each day. Haste ye back. We love you dearly. Haste ye back on friendship's way.
Oh, I do like that.
Isn't that nice?
Well, it is nice. Well, all of our listeners, you have a wonderful year. And guess what? That joy you carry with you, take it out there.
Yep.
Everybody needs it.
Oh, all the time.
It's portable.
Y'all have a wonderful couple of weeks. We'll see you in 2. Bye-bye.
Still congested.
Yep. Still got the sniffles.
Still congested.
And yet, here we are, getting ready to fly.
To do the thing.
I'll fly away, oh glory.
Do you have New Year's traditions from the past?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Okay, well, I thought you were supposed to handle the history part, so I wanted you to. I have some too. Eat lucky food. Well, lucky food can't be.
What is lucky food?
Well, it's not an animal-based food, right? Because none of those were lucky.
Well,
that fried chicken wasn't lucky. He didn't get away.
Well, yeah, but you know what? He was processed cleanly and quickly. He wasn't eaten while still alive, so there's that.
Well, but that's the cycle of life.
Hey,
I mean, if a fox comes in and takes the chicken from the coop, then that's nature.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's no fun.
No, either way, I wouldn't.
Again, It goes back to that idea about the ocean. If fish screamed, there'd be just bubbles bursting all over the ocean and be fish screaming as they're being eaten.
Everything bigger.
And yeah, so all right. We're gonna have to get this thing going, I suppose. And
it's 1:20.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
That's 3 less than 4:20.
Where has the day gone?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's okay
Time.
Though. Yes. It's funny how it ticks away.
Yeah.
Do you need to play? Away. Do you need to play Pink Floyd?
The moments that make up a dull day.
Don't sing. Please don't sing.
I can sing if I want to.
In your head.
I can sing out loud too. I'm always singing in my head.
Yes, I'm always got music going.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And in the North Pole, I know they sing loud for all to hear because they like to spread the cheer. But apparently we don't like to spread cheer in the world.